the deal about Michaela. She had been receiving very negative comments on her, I don't know, on her postings, the things that she posted. And she had certain health issues, mental health issues, said her husband. He said that, yes, she had been struggling with her mental health for, I don't know, I suppose decades and decades. And he said that, recently she did have a lot of criticism and I guess false accusations from people about her work at an animal sanctuary. And he said the worst part was that what hit her the most was that some of this criticism came from people who were closest to her. And they would write these, nasty comments and accusations. It's when we're a kid, we hear, sticks and stones will break my bones, and names will never hurt me. Is that true? Now, here's the deal. We technically should be able to say, you know what? People who call me whatever they want, I don't care. And if you're like that, God bless you. However, I am one of those people. I can relate. Unfortunately, I'm not like St. Paul. St. Paul the Apostle. I don't know which exact scripture it is, but he says basically that he has learned to be content no matter what, right? No matter what kind of treatment he has. He's learned to be content being rich. He's learned to be content being poor. He's learned to be content in good times or in bad. St. Paul the Apostle wrote so much of the Bible, and where did he write a lot of it from? Jail. Sometimes he had a guard, attached to him. And yet, he's saying a lot of uplifting stuff. So I am not that enlightened, let's put it that way. So what is my point of this video? My point of this video is this. First of all, I just offer my deepest condolences to the family of Michaela Rains. I ask you to check out Save a Fox. They have a lot of wonderful animals that they rescue. They've been doing this for years. And there's this Finnegan fox who I really fell for back in 2020 when I discovered them on YouTube. It's a fox that he goes, he laughs and stuff. And I mean, she had such a wonderful relationship with Finnegan. And, I really related to her because she talks to the animals the way I talk to the animals. And, but like I said, her poor husband, he had to get on and he had to tell everybody that this dream of hers, this sanctuary that she worked so hard at, and she spent so much of her life devoted to these animals, it's experiencing now a huge change because she's the captain of the ship and she killed herself. She killed herself. Okay? Why would someone who cares so much about the animals in her charge, who cares so much about her daughter, who cares seemingly so much about her husband, why would she put a separation between herself and all of that by killing herself? Because of the negative comments that she got. I understand it. I get it. But you know what I think? This is where the enemy comes in. The enemy tries to convince us that even though we have a lot of wonderful things going on, and for her, she came so far, she had opened up another location, and, like I said, she had gotten, she had different achievements in her life and stuff like that, but for her to kill herself, she must have been fed this idea that she didn't matter. Meanwhile, all those animals She mattered to them. She mattered to her family, you know? So that's the enemy, and we have to guard our heart and our mind. And I'm telling this to myself too, because I've received, every once in a while you get people who might say a little something, here and there. This is social media. This is the nature of social media. We're not always going to get, hey, good job, right? If we feel led to post things like I do, sometimes, I do. And then if people are going to say something, so I feel so sorry for her family. If you feel so led, please check out her YouTube or Facebook, Save a Fox. Look into the story and donate. If you feel so led, you could also shop. They have different things like T-shirts, keychains, whatever. But they need the money to keep coming in. During this major time of transition and loss,